This is crazy. I have been reported to the FBI for dangerous rhetoric in one of my recent videos. No joke. I was recently reached out to by a reporter who is digging into the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, otherwise known as GLE, the program in Atlanta that sends American police officers to Israel for training. Well, he sent me an email just saying, hey, by the way, I'm writing a story about Geely and was doing a public records request, and your name came up in one of the emails and just wanted to let you know. And I thought, oh shit. Let me now read you that email from Dr. Robbie Friedman, the founding director of Geely, addressed to some FBI agent who's redacted here. The subject line reads, "The latest incitement." Quote, "Gentlemen, the latest attack is in the form of a video. Professionally, it was very well done." Oh, why, thank you. Appreciate that. Except he says the numbers, facts, and context are way off. It is incitement against Geely and the police. It is blatantly anti-Semitic. The 151 comments, except one, are anti-Semitic as well. Very dangerous. So I am a threat now. The video he's referring to is this one I recorded in Georgia, an expose on Cop City, which I'll link in the description below if you haven't seen it yet. But apparently doing journalism is now considered incitement. But, one of the first thoughts that I had after reading that email is I've always heard stories from people with much bigger followings and audiences than me about being swatted. And to me, it was always like so hypothetical and theoretical. And this was the first moment I was like, oh crap, this could actually happen to me. But let's be clear, I am not backing down because the facts are on my side, right? Why is it anti-Semitic to point out that pro-Israel groups have poured millions of dollars into training U.S. law enforcement officers in Israeli counterterrorism and crowd control methods, tactics that are pretty brutal and now being used in America to manage protests and dissent here at home? Why is it dangerous rhetoric to ask why Israel, a foreign nation, is investing millions of dollars to shape U.S. law enforcement strategies? Is there something they stand to gain from influencing how American police, how our police are being trained and deployed? As an American, shouldn't we have the right to ask these questions? It's got nothing to do with Jews or whatever, because the reality is there's just things they don't want you to talk about. Like AIPAC, one of the most powerful pro-Israel lobbies, has quietly been funding Cop City-style projects all across the U.S. Also, the mayor of Atlanta, Andre Dickens, blocked last year a referendum where 116,000 signatures were collected by Atlanta residents, which is double the number required, who wanted to place the question of Cop City's construction on the ballot. Just got rid of it. Is that democracy? This is, by the way, the same mayor who traveled to Israel on a 10-day trip sponsored by AIPAC. So let's stop pretending this is about anti-Semitism. Criticizing government, any government, especially one that is lobbying ours, is, in fact, a constitutional right. And truth be told, the real question here isn't, is there influence? Obviously, yes. The real question is that influence good for Americans? That's why they want to shut down the conversation, because if we think too much, we might go, well, this may not be a good idea for us. So I want to play you the end of my Cop City video that was so dangerous, because I think it's just so important to understand what exactly is going on here, what might be the intent of groups like AIPAC funding police training, American police training. Israel's influence on American policing, particularly in the context of protests that challenge U.S. policies on Israel, places Israel in a unique position to safeguard its interests by relying on U.S. police to enforce its own narrative, especially as anti-Israel sentiment rises among American citizens. And the construction of Cop City in Atlanta is a direct manifestation of this influence. As protests against Israel's actions in Gaza continue to rise, U.S. police, equipped with Israeli tactics, are positioned to suppress opposition to Israel's policies. This dynamic has become even more pronounced under the Trump administration, which has sought to stifle anti-Israel activism by declaring it a form of anti-Semitism and threatening legal and financial repercussions.
You're going to be under arrest. So turn around.
Okay,
Stop resisting.
let's not.
Stop resisting.
Okay, he's not resisting. He's giving me his phone, okay? He's not, I understand, he's not resisting.
Put your arm down.
Like,
There's no need for this.
Don't worry about it. You're going to have to come with us. Don't worry.
I'm coming with you, no way.
No one's resisting, no one's getting worked up.
hi, Amy. Yeah, they just like handcuffed him and took him. I don't know what to do. And what should I do? I don't know.
However, while the state may grow more repressive, I think there's power in solidarity. The fight against militarized policing and for Palestinian rights has become a symbolic struggle for all marginalized communities. Personally, the one thing I've never shied away from is advocating to support the civil rights of those who may not look like me or think like me because, and this may sound a little bit counterintuitive, but I believe that gives us the greatest chance of creating a more inclusive and harmonious future. The power of protest, collective action, and cross-cultural solidarity remains, I think, our most potent weapon against rising authoritarianism. The last thing I'll say here today is that I will not be bullied, I will not be silenced, I will not stop investigating powerful people because this isn't really about me. This is about civil liberties. And forgive me, I'm one of those people who still believe in civil liberties. Civil liberties still matter, and I know that I am not alone in that fight. My name is James Lee. Let me know what you think about this issue. Should we be concerned that foreign governments, specifically one foreign government, is so involved in every aspect of American society? Is that a problem? If you want to help me out, if you want to keep this work alive, I could use your support more than ever. Like, share, subscribe so we can keep holding these powerful people accountable.